Hello, you absolute legends. For the past 6.5 years, a group of dedicated gamers known as Team 0% had been on a mission, a quest, to beat every single level ever uploaded to the Nintendo servers for Super Mario Maker on the Wii U. This was a gargantuan task, as gamers from all around the world had created and uploaded literally millions of levels over the course of the game's lifespan. But in November of 2023, Nintendo threw a wrench into the mix when they announced that in April of 2024, it would be closing down these Super Mario Maker online servers for good. This effectively gave Team 0% a time limit. If they couldn't beat every level by April, they had failed. At first, this seemed like too great a task. There were simply too many levels to clear, but after several creators put out a rallying cry, thousands of gamers came together to help Team 0% finish the job. And by mid-March 2024, they had defied all odds. Less than a month before Nintendo would shut off the servers for good, only a single level remained unbeaten. The only problem was that this one remaining level was hard. Really, really hard. It was only 12 seconds long, but most of those 12 seconds required frame-perfect inputs. Despite being uploaded in 2017, when players weren't as good as they are now, this level was still giving all of the current top players huge problems. But it did seem fitting. What better level to be the last than the one that gave everyone the biggest challenge? Hype was building. Game journalists were writing articles, videos were being made about this final level. People were preparing to celebrate this amazing achievement by Team 0%. And then, while everyone was putting on their party hats and planning their celebrations, the creator of this final level confessed that it was fake. He had cheated in order to upload it, and it wasn't a legitimate level. After 6.5 years, Team 0% had at last achieved their goal. But unfortunately, what should have been a beautiful moment was now spoiled. Instead of an epic climax where legendary gamers were racing head-to-head to beat the final stage, with one hero emerging as victorious, it was all over with a whimper. No fanfare, no hype, no enthusiasm. All because of the confession of a cheater who had led the community on for almost 7 years. In this video, we will take a look at what happened to the final Mario Maker stage, called Trimming the Herbs. And this situation is interesting because, as with a lot of cheaters, this one probably should have been exposed years earlier. But the creator was a quote-unquote good player who had built trust in the community, and it was exactly this trust that let them get away with it for so long. I really hope you enjoy. Now legends, this video is sponsored by the heroes over at Red Magic. Red Magic specialize in creating professional gaming equipment, and they have just released their brand new gaming mobile, the Red Magic 9 Pro. The Red Magic 9 Pro is specifically designed for people like you and me that like to use our phones for gaming. The specs are insane, featuring a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor and a huge 16GB of RAM. But personally, I really love the battery, which boasts a massive 6500 mAh. With other phones, I'm afraid to game while I'm out because it drains the battery so quickly. But with the Red Magic 9 Pro, battery is never an issue, and it fully charges in under an hour, which is extremely fast. It features lightning-fast shoulder triggers, and with Red Magic's incredible Ice 13 cooling system, this thing remains cold at all times no matter how intensive your gaming gets. It has a very large screen that looks great, and comes in 3 sexy designs. Personally, I have the Snowfall, but the other 2 options, Sleet and Cyclone, look really nice too. If you love gaming on your phone and you want the best experience possible, definitely give the Red Magic 9 Pro a look. The link is in the description. Red Magic is also celebrating their 6-year anniversary with a ton of great deals, so again, just click the link in the description and check them out today. In theory, it should be very difficult to upload a fake Mario Maker level. This is because you need to first clear it yourself before Nintendo will let you upload it. It is only after beating it yourself you get the option to share it with the world. This is part of where the competitive side of Mario Maker comes out. Some players will spend hundreds or even thousands of hours creating and trying to beat the hardest level they possibly can. Being able to upload a difficult stage is a badge of honor, and it's an invitation to other players to try and match your skill. In practice, however, plenty of levels that are flat out impossible to beat end up being uploaded because of hackers. I'm not a hacker myself, so I don't know the specifics, but hacking allows you to upload a level without beating it first, or by beating it in some way that isn't possible after you upload it. Thankfully, this doesn't end up causing too many problems, because if a level is impossible to beat, any good player can immediately tell. For example, if the end is completely blocked off and there is literally no way to reach it, you can safely assume this level was hacked. The best players have a good sense of what is or isn't possible, so whenever these impossible levels come up, they are simply disregarded and players aren't expected to clear them. When it came to trimming the herbs, however, it was a perfect storm that allowed this particular level to remain undetected as fake right until the very end. This meant that Team 0% still had this level as one that needed to be cleared if they were to achieve their goal. The creator of Trimming the Herbs was a player by the name of Ahoyo, and this person was a very active player and a very active member of the Mario Maker community. Throughout 2017, Ahoyo would stream hundreds of hours trying to create and clear levels, the most famous of which was a level by the name of Bombs 5. At the time, it would have been considered one of, if not the hardest levels ever made. Ahoyo claimed to have spent thousands of hours on this one level alone, and because of the fact that he streamed a lot of his attempts, he proved that he was a really good player. He wasn't just a good player either, he was a great contributor to the community. In 2017, he created and hosted a level design competition called PogChamp. This was a competition to find and highlight difficult or interesting levels. As part of that competition, he even submitted his own level called Trimming the Herbs. The level was relatively short, at only 12 seconds long, but it was extremely difficult. I'm not going to do a full breakdown of just how difficult Trimming the Herbs is, but I will link to a great breakdown video by The Beast in the description if you are really interested. The important thing to know is that it required an insane amount of frame-perfect inputs to clear. Ahoyo also uploaded a clear video of him beating the level, which showed exactly how it was done. This video is super important because it proved that it wasn't a hacked upload. The level really was beaten. While Trimming the Herbs was insanely difficult, at the time, no one really batted an eye. This is because no one knew just how difficult it was. If you truly want to know how hard a level is to beat, you need a very good player to spend a considerable amount of time trying to beat it. And at the time, no one played Trimming the Herbs. The unfortunate fact is that Trimming the Herbs is not a fun level to play, and the beginning is so stupidly difficult that no one could get through 3 seconds of it. Therefore, if anyone did play it, they'd play it for a very short amount of time, get frustrated, and then quit. So while people knew it was hard, it wasn't until years later in 2024, when Team 0% needed to beat it, that we saw very good players actually take it seriously. It was at this point the true difficulty became apparent. In February 2024, one of the top current players, Yoshi, invested dozens of hours into Trimming the Herbs, and after playing the level for a decent amount of time, he explained in a Twitter post that he had come to the conclusion that it was likely cheated. The level was simply too hard, especially for a player all the way back in 2017. Over the past 7 years, Mario Maker players have gotten considerably better, and this is also true for any other game, whether it's a challenge game like Mario Maker or a speedrunning game. A top player from today would dismantle any player from 2017. There really isn't a believable reason why Ahoyo should have been able to create and clear a level so challenging back then. But there was even more to the story, because there was another giant red flag that indicated Ahoyo may have been cheating. Remember before how I mentioned Ahoyo had spent years trying to clear a level on stream? This was the level he called Bombs 5. Well, he never did end up beating Bombs 5, and in 2017, he stopped streaming his attempts. Then, in 2021, when Nintendo announced they would stop accepting new level uploads to their servers, Ahoyo mysteriously appeared again and uploaded Bombs 5. He claimed that he had beaten it years earlier, but just didn't feel like uploading it. He even included another clear video, again demonstrating that the level wasn't hacked. But there was a problem with the video Ahoyo uploaded, and this problem was noticed about a month later. The actual level itself in his Bombs 5 clear video was ever so slightly different to the level that Ahoyo uploaded to the Nintendo server. We are talking tiny differences that barely make any difference whatsoever. In his own clear video, there is a muncher here near the end of the stage, but in the actual level that was uploaded, this had been replaced with spikes. So this means that Ahoyo beat the stage twice, once to beat the level he uploaded and once to beat the level for his clear video. This obviously makes no sense. He spent hundreds, maybe even thousands of hours on stream trying to beat it and couldn't. Then magically after he stopped attempts, he did it not once, but twice, and for no discernible reason other than to make minor cosmetic changes to the level. When this was discovered, some people naturally assumed that Ahoyo was cheating in some way, but they didn't know how. And without any solid proof, nothing really came of it. Remember, in 2021 when Bombs 5 was uploaded, no one was thinking about trimming the herbs. No one knew just how improbable trimming the herbs was because no one had played it. So at this time, they still weren't able to properly connect the dots. However, in early 2024, people started to piece everything together, which brings us back to Yoshi. In his Twitter post, he explained that he thought trimming the herbs was cheated for two main reasons. One, the level was too hard for a player in 2017, and two, that same player had another extremely suspicious level, Bombs 5. In mid-March, trimming the herbs became the last unbeaten level, and it started to get a lot more attention. By this point, many top players had now sunk a decent amount of time into trimming the herbs, and everyone was still coming up short. Another top player and YouTuber, the Riley C, uploaded a video speculating that Ahoyo was cheating in some way. He stressed that not only was trimming the herbs too hard, but Ahoyo had beaten it far too quickly.
So in 1 month, he went from not hitting the third Piranha Plant to getting consistent enough to beat the full level. Given his limited time that we established just a second ago, this is again highly suspicious.
Opinions were mixed, however. In a video defending Ahoyo, YouTuber Grand Pooh Bear said that in 2017 when Trimming the Herbs was uploaded, no one had the technology to cheat in this way, and therefore he simply couldn't be cheating. Because remember, Ahoyo had a video of himself allegedly beating the level. The only feasible way to cheat with a video like this was by using tools to give automated inputs to the game, i.e. a tool-assisted speedrun or TAS.
Could the clear video have been tasked? Listen. The thing with why the clear video wasn't tasked, chat, in 2017, we just didn't have the ability to do that on the Wii U. That's the number one reason. We just simply didn't have the ability to do that on the Wii U. Secondly, this player has proven themselves over and over and over again. Like, we don't need to do this to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to do this. I understand Carl Job's videos are fun. Like, we got to call it out. Like, this is a legit one. It's a legit video. It's been enough. This man has enough street cred that I'm fully confident about it. And I'm also fully confident that it's going to get clear.
The Ahoyo situation was interesting because it highlighted again just how much people value their own perceived trustworthiness of a person. The reality is that Trimming the Herbs probably was too hard of a level for 2017, and the fact that Ahoyo uploaded a different clear video for Bombs 5 was insane. There is no reasonable, logical explanation that is more likely than he is simply cheating in some way, but people will overlook that if they think you're a good player. This is what continues to fascinate me, and it's why I will continue to preach that being a really good player doesn't make a person any less likely to cheat. This back and forth speculation didn't end up lasting long, as on the 23rd of March, Ahoyo confessed that he did in fact use external tools to clear his levels. He had built a device that could feed input straight into the Wii U. So it wasn't him beating the levels in his videos, it was a computer that was playing the Wii U for him. This entire situation is really unfortunate, because the reality is that there was nothing special about Trimming the Herbs, other than the fact that it was way too hard, and Super Mario Maker isn't the kind of game where uploading a cheated level is a huge crime. According to Ahoyo, he was planning on unveiling the truth almost immediately after uploading it, but after no one played it or cared about the level, he chose not to. If he had told the truth earlier, not only would no one have thought it was a bad thing, people would have thought the device he built was really creative and interesting. Ahoyo's fake level only became a problem because it ended up being the last level unbeaten by Team 0%. News articles were being written about it. Everyone was talking about Trimming the Herbs, and the hype surrounding it was huge. The irony is that Ahoyo chose the perfect time to confess to cause the maximum amount of damage. If he had confessed just 2 weeks earlier, or any time in the past 7 years, it would have been removed from Team 0%'s list, and therefore when they beat the level The Last Dance, which was the actual final level, that would have been the end, and everyone would have celebrated and enjoyed that moment together. If he never confessed, or at least waited until after the server shut down, some people would have still thought it was cheated, but people would have tried to beat it. it, and in fact, it was beaten by the player Sanix several days before these servers shut down. And while many people still did celebrate this achievement, even though they knew it was a cheated level, if Ahoyo had never confessed, this moment would have been much bigger and much more magical than it was. At the very least, the community would have had an amazing moment to celebrate as it happened, instead of just retroactively realizing they had been successful at some point in the past. The climax of 6.5 years of hard work by Team 0% and thousands of people was effectively ruined by a single person because they couldn't be bothered being truthful about their actions, which just goes to show how damaging small lies can be when there are many other people involved. 6 years is a long time to work on something, and the community really did deserve to have that big payoff at the end. Those special moments are what speedrunners strive for, and it's a huge shame this amazing project ended in the manner it did. But still, they did ultimately achieve their goal, so a big congrats to Team 0% for doing the impossible, and beating every single level in Super Mario Maker. And while the ending was a bit sour, what they have achieved is still something to be proud of. A big thanks to Yoshi for helping me learn more about Mario Maker, and a special thanks to the Riley C for helping me learn about this whole situation. If you enjoy Mario Maker content, please go and subscribe to his channel. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.